What's up, guys? Duster McDangles back here with another video, and welcome back to the NHL 21-22 preview series here in the NHL. And we are getting back into the Pacific Division here today with the Anaheim Ducks. We're going to be talking about how they ended last season, stats, cap space, players who have left, players they have brought in, as well as talking about the future, as it is pretty bright here for the Anaheim Ducks. So without further ado, let's hop into the video right now. Starting off with how they ended things in the 21-22 season. They finished the season off with a 31-37-14 record, guys. Their stats for goals for ranked 22nd in the league, 23rd for goals against. Their power play and penalty kill were okay, 22% for power play and 81% for the penalty kill. Again, for a young/aging team last year, that was okay, but moving forward, they're going to need to bump that up a little bit more, especially if they are looking to push for a wild card spot in the playoffs this upcoming season. As of right now, they have about $18.8 million worth of cap space, so they are still open for moves to be made as they've got the money to do so. Now to talk about some of the changes on their team this year. At least as of right now, there are 3 players that were somewhat of note that aren't returning to the team. Sonny Milano not coming back with the Ducks. Ryan Getzlaf, the captain, will not be back as he has retired from the NHL, as well as the Ducks have not re-signed Sam Steele, as I believe he is now a free agent, able to go where he would like to. Now again, 3 players that they've lost. That's okay, but they have brought a ton of new players in, and there's just a short list, a decent list here, with one being a potential massive rookie year on its way. But starting off, they've brought in Ryan Strome and Frank Vetrano from the New York Rangers. Again, not traded, but they were free agents. Also went ahead and signed John Klingberg to a 1-year deal, I think it was about $7 million for 1 year, so a rent-a-player. See how things go for him, and maybe he signs a long-term deal if the Ducks do well this year. And finally, Mason McTavish, the captain of Team Canada at the World Juniors, who probably made one of the biggest saves in World Juniors history. He looks like a man amongst boys, at least in this past tournament, and he will definitely be cracking the lineup this year for the Anaheim Ducks, which could help them in the long run. Now, on the back end, they are still pretty solid. They've still got John Gibson between the pipes, as well as they've got Anthony Stolarz as their backup at this point in time, and who knows, with changes or any rookies that maybe come up through their system. I don't know too much about their depth at the goaltender position, but with John Gibson between the pipes, you can count on him to have a solid season, especially with the lineup that they are generating in front of him. You can expect a big season from John Gibson. As of last year, top point getters, goal scorers, Troy Terry had a massive year for the Anaheim Ducks. I think a breakout year for him, as he did make the All-Star game. Trevor Zegras, who's also the NHL 23 cover, with 23 goals. Troy Terry had 37 goals. And then Adam Henrique, a little bit of an older veteran. It's hard to say that because it feels like yesterday he was just a rookie with the Devils, but he had 19 goals. Assists, Trevor Zegras had 38, Ryan Getzlaf 34, and one of their staples on the back end, Cam Fowler, had 33 assists. It's going to be interesting to see who's going to be their main goal scorer, but let's pull up their roster right now and take a look and see what the projected lines are going to look like and break that down a little bit more. Taking a look at their lines right now, and again, this could be very off or could go a few different ways. I know Silverberg is actually on the IR right now, so that might be a little different there, but the top 2 lines are very solid. You can mix and match McTavish there with Henrique if you want an all-young line with Zegras, Terry, and McTavish. Ryan Strome, Vetrano, I mean, they can fit in really anywhere in the lineup. Vetrano, I'd say top 9 forward for sure. Comtois is there as well. I'd say bottom 6 aren't as strong as I would like, but they're not terrible. On the back end, you can expect a big year from Jamie Drysdale, as it is a contract year. Klingberg as well. I mean, you've got Kevin Shattenkirk back there. You've got Cam Fowler. So they are pretty solid on the back end in front of Gibson. And, I mean, you can expect a few big years. I know Troy Terry, I believe, is on a contract year as well. just taking a look at their contracts expiring next year. Looks like Comtois is going to be a restricted free agent. Troy Terry will be restricted. Trevor Zegras actually will be restricted as well. And on the back end, they've got Klingberg, Kevin Shattenkirk as unrestricted. Jamie Drysdale will be restricted. So there's a couple big years that might need to be had if they want to get paid this upcoming season to stay with the Ducks. So we'll have to see how they do and how they fare. But let's give you my little prediction. There's going to be prediction videos in the future, but give you a little look into what I think is going to happen in this upcoming season. Having a little bit younger of a team isn't always a bad thing in the NHL until you get down to the end of things in the season, especially if they are in the hunt. And with a young lineup here and a hungry franchise dying to get back into the playoffs, I think the Anaheim Ducks might push for the playoffs. I don't want to say if they will be a wild card team or not, just because the Pacific Division is always up in the air with teams out there, and there are a few other teams in this division that I think might make a push for the playoffs and knock the Anaheim Ducks out of the playoffs just one more year. But the future is bright with the up-and-coming stars of Zegras, McTavish, Drysdale, Troy Terry. I mean, it looks very good, and some depth players such as Strome, Vetrano, Comtois. The future is bright, especially if they can keep the team around. And who knows, does Klingberg have a big year or not? Does John Gibson have a Vezina-type winning season? We will have to wait and see, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. I want to hear from the Anaheim Ducks fans out there. Do you think your team is going to make the playoffs, or are they going to come up short? Who do you think is going to have the biggest breakout year? Drysdale, McTavish, Zegras, Terry? Let me know who you guys think down in the comments. But that's going to be it for today's episode. We're going to have another one coming out here shortly of another team here in the Pacific Division, so stay tuned for that. But I hope you guys have a good one, and as always, stay dusty.